What defines a warrior? Is it the armor they wear or the sword they carry? In ancient Japan, the answer was clear. It was the code of Bushido, the way of the warrior. It was an unwritten set of principles that guided the samurai. Gi, integrity. Yu, courage. Jin, benevolence. Rei, respect. Makoto, honesty. Maiyo, honor. And Chugi, loyalty. Today, Japan is a nation of hypermodernity, of bullet trains, gleaming robotics, and economic power. The samurai are the stuff of legends, their code a relic preserved in museums and films. Or so it was thought. Because something remarkable is happening in the boardrooms of Tokyo and the high-tech factories of Osaka. Japanese leaders are witnessing this ancient code reborn, not in their own youth, but in the most unexpected of people, their Filipino colleagues. This is the story of Mr. Kenshin Takeda, a senior executive at a major Osaka manufacturing plant. Takeda was a man steeped in tradition, a man who saw his company not just as a business, but as a legacy. He believed in precision, punctuality, and the legendary, almost sacred Japanese work ethic. But Takeda's company was facing an unspoken crisis, an aging workforce, and a critical shortage of skilled engineers. The solution, proposed by HR, was to hire a new team of highly educated engineers from the Philippines. Takeda was skeptical. He worried about language barriers, about a different work culture. He had heard Filipinos were different, warm perhaps, but were they precise? Were they disciplined? He worried they would lack the selfless dedication that he believed was uniquely Japanese. The new Filipino team arrived, led by a young engineer named Rico. They were polite, they smiled, they were friendly with the janitorial staff, they laughed together in the cafeteria. Takeda watched from a distance, his skepticism growing. He mistook their warmth for a lack of seriousness, their politeness for a lack of confidence. Then, 6 months later, the unthinkable happened. A catastrophic logical failure in the factory's main automated logistics system brought the entire plant to a dead stop. This wasn't just a breakdown, it was the heart of the company, the line Takeda had personally overseen. Alarms blared and then silence. A deafening, expensive silence. Every minute of downtime cost the company millions in yen. The Japanese team, brilliant engineers all, were frantic. They ran diagnostics, they rebooted systems, they consulted the manuals. They did everything by the book, but the system remained dead. Takeda's face was grim. This crisis could tarnish his entire career. As the chaos peaked, Rico, the young Filipino engineer, who had been quietly observing and running his own analyses, approached the executive. "Takeda-san, sumimasen. Excuse me." He bowed respectfully. "I have an idea. It is not in the manual. I believe the flaw is not in the code itself, but in the logic of the system's fail-safe. It is trapping itself in a loop." Takeda, desperate, looked at this young man. He had nothing left to lose. "Show me." For the next 72 hours straight, Rico did not leave the control room. He didn't just code. He went to war with the machine. He meticulously traced the flaw, his mind diving deep into the millions of lines of code. He barely ate, subsisting on coffee and onigiri from the vending machine. He barely slept, catching only a few minutes in his chair. Mr. Takeda stayed with him, watching. He had never seen such stamina, such focused intensity. After 48 hours, Takeda put a hand on Rico's shoulder. "Rico-san," he said, "you must rest. We will find another way." Rico just shook his head, his eyes never leaving the screen. "Sir, we are close. I can feel it. I will not stop until the line is moving. I will not let the team down." In that moment, Takeda wasn't seeing a foreign employee. He saw gi, integrity, in Rico's refusal to take a single shortcut. He saw yu, immense courage, as this young man voluntarily faced a crisis that could have ended his own career. At the 71st hour, Rico's fingers flew across the keyboard. He hit enter. A single green light blinked, then another. The factory floor rumbled, and then, with a hydraulic hiss, the entire automated line roared back to life. The Japanese team stared, dumbfounded, before breaking into applause. The next day, Takeda called Rico into his office. He presented him with an envelope. "This is a substantial bonus, Rico-san. For your extraordinary effort, the company is in your debt." But Rico looked at the envelope and gently pushed it back. He bowed deeply. "Sir, I cannot accept this. The factory was in trouble. The team was in trouble. I am part of this team. My reward is seeing the line move again and knowing my colleagues' jobs are safe. We are a family here." Takeda was stunned into silence. He was looking at Chugi, total selfless loyalty, a loyalty that went beyond a paycheck, beyond a contract, a loyalty he thought had vanished from the modern world. At the next corporate board meeting, Takeda stood up. His voice was thick with emotion. "I have been trying to define the spirit of our Filipino colleagues," he said to the other executives. "They are not just hard-working. They are not just resilient. I have seen them display gi when it is difficult, you when we are afraid, and Chugi for a company that is not even their own. We have been searching for the soul of our ancient warriors, and we have found it. They are, in every sense that matters, the new samurai." This wasn't an isolated incident. This sentiment is sweeping across Japan. Japanese ship owners who dominate global maritime trade call Filipino seafarers the most trusted and courageous sailors in the world. They see a Filipino captain navigating a supertanker through a violent typhoon, not just as a skilled employee, but as a warrior displaying Mayo honor, taking full responsibility for his ship and his crew, often being the last one to evacuate. In Japan's hospitals, elderly Japanese who are deeply revered find a level of jin, compassion and rei, respect, from Filipino nurses that they say is extraordinary. These nurses treat their patients not as tasks, but as family, holding their hands, listening to their stories. They embody the very principles of benevolence that Bushido demanded. For a nation as proud and honorable as Japan, to call an outsider a samurai is the highest compliment possible. They are not just saying Filipinos are good workers, they are saying that in the modern Filipino spirit, in their integrity, their courage, and their profound loyalty, they see the reflection of their own most ancient and sacred values. It's a bond forged not in steel, but in a shared, unspoken code of honor.